Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. I am Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sin, for the win. Today, we continue on with our Week 4 coverage of our winter season. We are closing down on the regular season at this stage. Sin getting oh so close to the playoffs once these teams hit 30 games played. And we start off with HV71 against our defending champions in hREDS, who I'd imagine are quite eager to get the playoffs going to try and, retain that title.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hREDS have put themselves in such a good situation. Yep, they've lost a couple of their last few games, but they've also, gone up against the likes of Ferlunda. So it was maybe to be expected they wouldn't maintain that perfect season. That being said, I mean, coming off the championship performance from last season, and I could have seen it happening, but, as all things kind of considered, they have sort of stumbled a bit, but I'm sure they're, definitely eager, as you said, to get into the playoffs here. And yeah, because they've pretty much guaranteed themselves a spot.
You alluded towards the results recently for hREDS. We'll actually get you guys a look at the latest results from around the league heading in to the action today. And again, Sin mentioned for hREDS some of the games recently. They are coming off of back-to-back 4-1 wins over Granite Gaming. You see some of the other results there. Decent for Havu, winning both of their games against Urobro in their last set. And how about Sawo, Sin? They've been the story of this season so far. Nice little split against former champions in Ferlunda.
Yeah, it's at this point, I mean, you have to kind of accept that they're just a real deal. It's not been like the schedule getting up to this point. I mean, we've seen the teams they beat. They took the two over Havu. Now, granted, Havu, kind of maybe deserved a bit better fate, especially in that second game. But again, good teams find ways to win, and they beat Ferlunda 4-2. So they've taken a game off Ferlunda. They took a game off, Havu. This team is the real deal. I don't think you can really deny that anymore. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do in a playoff situation, because we've seen a team come in and do really well in the playoffs and then fall in the first round in an upset. So we'll see if Sawo here has what it takes to make a run.
You mentioned the standings. Let's get you a look at those now heading into the action today. Again, a 30-game regular season. Left-hand side of the bracket is where you want to be by the end of it. And soon, of course, we do have a decent gap in terms of games played. You have the likes of Ferlunda and Goons on 16, while Sabo already up to 22 games played on the season. But in terms of the teams that are in the playoffs right now, at least off of points percentage, the only switch would be Granite actually falling back to 9th at this stage, and Goons actually right now on a playoff pace. Aside from that, we do kind of get the look at where everybody actually is. And what about Conquer Gaming with some nice results over Djurgården, pushes Djurgården into that drop zone?
Yeah, and that's, pretty good for Conquer. I mean, they were kind of precariously sitting in that place for quite some time here. So to get themselves out of that, technically, currently, right now, they would have to still play a series to stay in the Elite Division. But at least you always want to give yourself a fighting chance. If you can't be out of those potential relegation positions, you at least want to give yourself the best chance possible. But I mean, I just want to kind of touch on. We've been talking about it. We used to have the big two. We thought, is there a big three? At this point, I mean, Havu's making their way back up. We know Ferlunda's probably going to be there with the 4 games in hand, and now Sawo has kind of firmly planted themselves in the top. Like, it's really hard to say that there is a big 1, 2, or 3. It's just becoming so many good teams here in this elite division, and with the emergence of Sawo here, I mean, I think you have like 4 teams right now who you could really make an argument for winning the championship this season, or at least being there, and that's incredible. I don't know if we've really ever had that situation like that here in the ECL Elite. As maybe having a mic malfunction here as all right, well,
All right, hey, we're good.
Oh,
We're
there we
good.
go.
You
What the
never
heck?
know when these tech issues might happen. I have no idea what happened, but I'm here. I didn't die. Sin, at the very least, though, in terms of talking about your point that is almost lost to the moment now, I do want to mention that, in talking about the contenders that we have, there might be championship favorites, but to further your point, there are indeed contenders. Perhaps more so than we've ever had.
Yeah,
Still
even
not sure what
stat
happened
up
there.
there. I mean, they're 1 more game played and 1 point above for Lunda. I mean, they're not too far off from the pace that they're on. I mean, they could easily be right up there in the mix. So the seeding for the top 5, and it's going to be incredible to witness.
With that, everybody, let's set the stage for the action that we're going to be bringing to you today. Our first matchup is HV71, as you see entering play today in 14th, taking on our number one team and defending champions, of course, in hREDS. For HV71, it's Rubitus, Captain Dembski down the middle, and Madalaiska on the right, Zupa and Pudaking on defense, Kofalainen between the pipes, and for hREDS, it is that same exact unit that took home the championship last season. Villapoika, Captain Benito and Nikki Dangles, Domi and King of Apes on defense, and FaZe between the pipes for them. We'll go to our individual breakdowns and kick things off with the Battle of the Centers, as we always do, and Sin, coincidentally, the Battle of the Captains as well. Face-off percentage close, numbers not so much.
Yeah, incredibly close on the face-off percentage, but Benito here, he's obviously has that very, very clear point advantage now. He's on a slower pace than Villapoika and Nikki Dangles, which I think is a bit different from how it was in the previous season. He kind of was really the guy for hREDS in the previous season, as I recall. But yeah, Dembski, while he does have a solid chunk of points, that's one thing I feel like HV71 isn't doing too bad at, is especially on the front end, putting up points. It's just not comparable here, and he doesn't really have an advantage in any other kind of location. He does lead his team in goals, but that's the same amount that Benito has on the other end. I mean, this is just a tough matchup for HV71 all over.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case for every positional breakdown here. We do go to the winger duel here, though. Rubitus and Madalaiska, as mentioned, for HV71, hREDS Villapoika, and Nikki Dangles. And Sin, needless to say, this is where the gap really starts to show in terms of the production that these two teams are able to, put up at this stage of the season.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, Villapoika is just looking it's incredible. It seems like every season hREDS have another guy that's just standing out. It was Nikki Dangles once, then it was Benito. Now Villapoika is just going ham. He's first place for goals in the ECL Elite with 29. I mean, that's 9 goals over goal per game. He's leading the team in points. Oh, also leading the league in points. He's second in game-winning goals. He has 4 power play goals. Just a scary, scary player to contain there in Villapoik. And then, of course, Nikki Dangles on the other side, a former rookie of the year, I do believe, and still putting up a solid amount of points, leads his team in assists. Rubitus and Madalaiska, I mean, solid players, obviously. Madalaiska, perhaps, not quite getting the points that he would want. It's still a decent chunk. Again, we always say you want to be at least at that point per game mark, preferably a decent chunk over it. So it's not like necessarily HV71's producing on kind of a rough level. It's just it doesn't look good when they're, stacked up against hREDS.
Speaking to Villapoika, I had to look it up. Sin, he had 80 points last year in 30 games, 50 assists, 30 goals. He already has 29 goals this year, so the assist numbers have dropped off. But obviously, he is on pace to finish well above a goal per game pace. Rather difficult to do in this division, to say the least. We look at the defenders again: Zupe and Pudaking for HV71, for hREDS Domi and King of Apes. And again, another decent gap when it comes to the point production in favor of hREDS. But similar to the winger battle, we see probably the physicality advantage in favor of HV71, especially when looking at the hit total for Pudaking.
Yeah, and I think that's something that they're might gonna at least, have to whip out here. Is you got to do something against hREDS to try to slow them down, whether that's hits and making sure hopefully that they're, good hits as well. You can easily take yourself out of position with that. So it's going to be kind of a balancing act for HV71. And as you mentioned, especially Pudaking back there with, he's averaging about 3 hits per game, which is definitely solid here. And I would love to see him break it out kind of in all 3 zones and maybe be a bit more cautious when it's at the line. hREDS are their forwards are very shifty with the puck. They could probably dodge those hits at the blue line. So I'd like to see, kind of the Cronwall action come out, like using a hit kind of to keep the play in the zone or like in the neutral zone if they're trying to, do a little horizontal play right there. I'd love to see that coming out. And I mean, on the flip side, Domi and King of Apes, I mean, obviously incredible. Both defensemen at both sides, on both sides of the puck, and they're both near that point per game mark. You can still kind of argue you expect a bit more crazy production out of King of Apes because he's had those kind of seasons, but it's, again, every year it's a team effort, and hREDS are on the top of the mountain for a reason.
Goaltenders are our last head-to-head before we get to the action here tonight. Kofalainen taking on FaZe, of course. And we've seen the rise of the likes of Nikki Dangles, and of course we've seen the rise of FaZe. I do believe, again, a former Rookie of the Year, Goaltender of the Year, Playoff MVP. Actually, I think he might have finished second to Nikki Dangles in terms of that Rookie of the Year voting. But regardless, he has essentially won everything there is to everything there is to win within 3 seasons. Like, he is a winner. If you think of an award, he has won it. And so far this season, he is living up to the reputation that he's built.
He absolutely is. The save percentage is still very, very good. 84.7 around that, kind of 85 mark. The goals against average has gone up above 1 at this point. I remember last time we saw him, it was still under 1, but that is simply just to be expected. Would be a ridiculous proposal for him to keep that goals against under 1 the entire year. 6 shutouts to his name as well. I mean, a great goaltender on a very good team. And again, if that's just what hREDS is, there's no weak point on any part of this roster. And on that flip side, Kofalainen, we've seen him make some big saves. We've seen him been pretty good, but probably not where he wants the stats to be, and obviously the team not where they want to be in the standings as well. And this matchup right here, it's going to be a tough one to kind of get points to get out of the situation that they find themselves in.
We find ourselves just a few moments away from puck drop in our first game of this broadcast. Again, HV71 taking on hREDS. A little bit later on as well, we will see Djurgården Hockey taking on Frölunda HC. Very much looking forward to that matchup as well. Friendly reminder, of course, Sin and I will be here tomorrow as well. Again, same particular time as this broadcast. Very much looking forward to that one again as we continue our Elite Division coverage. Sin, hard to believe we're almost, hey, this is the halfway point of week number 4 of this season, this marathon pace that we have had. It's going to be over before we know it, and then before we know it too, we'll be saying, oh man, can't wait for that spring season. So it's always fun, the frantic pace of this season, seeing how just constantly the standings are evolving and what the outlook is for a team on one given day compared to the next. You never really know where you're going to find yourselves until the end of the season, just with how competitive the Elite Division happens to be.
Yeah, it may sound cliche, but it really is this. The Elite Division simply keeps getting more and more competitive. No one could really predicted Sabo would be doing what they're doing right now. Everyone's kind of curious what would Havu be doing. They really started to seemingly fall off, and now they're vaulting themselves back up to the top of this bracket as well. And again, we've always had like those 1 or 2 runaway teams. It really isn't the case this year. There's multiple teams in striking distance. We really don't know. It's probable that hREDS will take that 1 seed because they put themselves in a situation, but there's several teams behind them with good enough records to be able to make a run for that 1 seed.
Absolutely. So again, you get a look there at the teams in the lobbies, and no surprise, the lead edges across the board when it comes to these 2 teams, kind of the meta that we have seen established at this point. I am intrigued, though, for HV71. Again, entering play today, they find themselves in the drop zone here. Coming up, some winnable games, perhaps, though. This is their biggest challenge left this season before they play YMCA, Granite, IQ, and Djurgården to wrap up this season. They absolutely have the potential to secure themselves in this Elite Division for our spring season, especially if they can nick a point or 2 off of the defending champs again at this stage. As you all get a look at the prize pool here over the course of our 2-season format, and of course our grand final that we're very excited for. Send a lot of money at stake, and again, talk about it. Hey, it might not be your year, but who knows what happens if you're able to stay within this Elite Division. Who knows what that can lead to down the road.
Yeah, and that's what's so awesome about this new format here is both these seasons kind of coincide with each other. Like what you do in this season will matter going into the next season, and definitely matter, leading up to that eventual grand final here. As you can see, all the money on the line. Not just that, it's the pride at stake. It's, as you said, being able to stay in this competitive division.
Absolutely. So again, just a few moments to go here. Again, mention it for London's Eurogrid coming up as well. It's the first game of 4 here in this broadcast. We thank you very much for joining us. Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you might need to keep up not only with our Elite Division, but of course every Tuesday we have our Pro Division coverage as well. Fantastic stream yesterday, led by the likes of King Lime and B Major. And Sin, we are ready to go. hREDS in their home red, HV71 in their road whites. The action underway. Let's see how this one plays out. Again, a big challenge here for HV71, but certainly a more than capable team. We've seen that throughout our time covering this Elite Division. That really any team in the league at any given time can get points away from the other, as Nicky Dangles with the short side attempt. Kofalainen, good positioning. So that's a tough save for a goaltender to make to, avoid that temptation to cheat.
It absolutely is, especially with hREDS, who are so good at being able to sneak those passes across and have, great cycle movement. But we've seen that from Kofalainen a lot so far when we've covered him this season. He's really kind of a great goaltender in his angles. He makes another good save right there off the pad. Nice shot coming from the high slot.
Good save indeed against Nicky Dangles. As mentioned, some 15 goals on the season for one of our former Rookie of the Year nominees. I think in the time that we've seen, it's been Nicky Dangles, FaZe, and Pika Roger. That sounds about right.
It does sound right.
What a class of what a class that is for former Rookie of the Year winners. That is just an absurd amount of talent in that group alone.
Yeah, and they're just gonna keep just keep flourishing here. Obviously, Goons is supplanting themselves as at least a mainstay in the Elite Division, if not an eventual or current contender, as well as obviously hREDS top of the mountain right now.
They scramble for the puck. Puda King able to come up with that one. HV71, good pass up to Rubatas, back in front off the pads of FaZe, and ended up having to squeeze the legs to keep that one out.
I like that mentality from HV71. They didn't kind of dilly-dally with the puck. They wanted to make the most of the opportunity. That was just saucing a puck towards the net, hoping you can either get a stick on it or maybe a bounce would benefit them, and FaZe just squeezing the pads together prevented that from going in the net.
Doesn't matter how pretty the goal is. Got to get that result at the end of the day. Is Dangle's able to get that one over to King of Apes, a very formidable offensive force. Boyka gets it back from Benito, misses on the glove side. Good patience by Puda King, HV71. Stifled on this particular breakout. Nicky Dangles, that pass Benito gives chase in the corner. And down low, that low cycle. Preferred strategy for hREDS. King of Apes in front, bouncing around, and Kofalainen is able to cover it with the glove.
Yeah, that's King of Apes working it down low. I mean, he's just such a dynamic defenseman there. He ends up doing something similar to what HV71 did earlier off the rush, just sort of saucing it towards the net right there. And if had that bounced a little bit harder, Kofalainen was sliding out of position.
Okay, puck over to the far side corner. Domi slap shot, blocked away, rebound, shot, scores! Great heads-up play, picking up the rebound from that block shot. Gets the pass over to Nicky Dangles. Was able to snipe that one home. 1-0 hREDS.
Yeah, that's just incredible presence from the hREDS team. We see it, and they are like just a pack of wolves on those loose pucks, hungry for them at all times. And Nicky Dangles there in the high slot will get the pass after it and blast that one home. Kofalainen was there for it, but sometimes the shots are just too strong, and that one picked the corner. hREDS go up 1-0.
Way through the first period, the lead now for, again, our defending champions. Don't know if they'll get tired of hearing us say that on these particular broadcasts. Demski, run off the puck. Gets back in possession. Here's Benito. Bides his time, finds Domi pinching in. Domi in front, and a good opportunity there. Both defensemen pinching in and nearly connecting for the second goal. There's Rubatas trying to hold that one along the wall. What a pass to find Benito. Head of steam for the captain, trying to fend off pressure from Zupe. Big hit. Still, it's hREDS in control. To the point. Shot fired wide. Filipoika down low again. Suffocating pressure from hREDS. D to D. King of Apes. Great block by Rubatas. But still Nicky Dangles again. Tried that glove side. Keeping Kofalainen honest, but again, he's able to make that stop.
Yeah, that's just textbook hREDS right there. They will shoot from any angle possible. It's not necessarily that they've seen something, a weakness in the goaltender. It's just that they're going to test your angles regardless. They don't care who's in net.
Nicky Dangles scores! Second of the period for the former Rookie of the Year. Zenny almost makes it look too easy sometimes.
Yeah, Nicky dangles his way into the slot right there with the toe drag. Looks like he got maybe poked off his stick for a second, but he still got that shot away, went far side with it. Kofalainen did his best to stretch out and knock it down, but was not meant to be in hREDS. Really starting to pour it on here late in the first. They're up 2-0.
Angles now 17 goals in 21 games, or really should say 22 and a third. Well, we're not done with this period, so who knows? Back in possession, gets it over to Villapoika. To Nicky Dangles! What a save by Kofalainen! Another chance. They continue to feed Nicky Dangles the puck. Natural hat trick might be in order. There is a delayed call here, though. hREDS. We'll see a man take a seat. HV71 going to the power play.
And I'd say as we get closer to the playoffs here, this is the one thing where hREDS, if you could say there's any sort of weak point or question mark, it is their discipline at times. As a very aggressive team, it kind of, is to be expected, but they kind of take those penalties in bunches here. So I'm curious to see over the next course, in the next period, if they take 1-2 more, because that seems to be the pattern. And if they're able to sort of, at least sort of fix that going into the playoffs, that could be absolutely massive here. But we'll see how they handle this PK. They've already cleared the zone, and well,
For Benito, that one to go off the pads. HV71, bang average power play, 8th in the league. hREDS, the #1 penalty kill at 95%. Most likely translates to just 1 goal allowed. Nearly a second, puck bouncing around in front. Finds its way to Villapoika, who's able to send it down. Wow. That pass, a good idea, but unfortunately, Sin Madalaiska was just a little bit behind the blue line.
It honestly cannot be understated how good that play was from HV71. The quick passing, moving laterally, getting the goalie moving. It went from, low to high to then laterally, and FaZe just made it look easy on that save. That was a heck of a chance from HV71 that FaZe just kind of nonchalantly turned aside right there.
And with that clearance, we will be back to 5-on-5. Final minute of play here in this first period. Stretch pass intercepted by Nicky Dangles. Demski able to win it back. Final 10, it's real time. Perhaps one more chance for one of these two teams. Villapoika for Benito. Still fighting for it. Domi has it. Shot. Rebound was there. The defender just got a piece of it to take away that chance. Since a 2-0 lead for hREDS, thanks to a tremendous performance from Nicky Dangles, as we get a look at that second goal one more time.
Yeah, just a really solid effort. Just sort of drove the middle right there. And that's why we're seeing a lot of these top teams have a very, very strong collapse. And, it's... That being said, that wasn't a bad collapse off the face-off from HV71. It was just a perfectly timed toe drag. You saw two people come in there to try to knock him off the puck or poke that puck loose. They simply couldn't, but goodness, it's a dominating performance so far for hREDS. Surprising the face-offs are 5 apiece, but HV71 has just the 19 seconds of zone time. They did get a pretty decent chance off of it, so they got to be a little bit happy at least about that, but there's kind of the play that led to the first goal. A great shot block, a bounce just kind of fortuitously went towards hREDS, and he kind of leapt on that quickly and made that pass over because, they know where each other's going to be. They know what they want to do. This is just a team with, obviously great chemistry, and those plays can develop quickly from any location here. So we'll see what hREDS' response will be here in the second period.
Definitely the type of team to finish each other's sandwiches and sentences. That chemistry is there. Madalaiska for HV71 again throws it on in front. Loose puck bouncing around. King of Apes. You have to get it out of danger, at least momentarily. Benito shovels it ahead. Great movement. Nicky Dangles tried that quick drop back. Benito might have been ready for it in real life, Sim, but his player character was not so much. Zupe tries to get that shot through. Benito now. Between the legs move, a bit too much traffic. Nicky Dangles will recover, and again, Zenny's just too powerful on these passes.
Yeah, I actually think Modeliska might have got the stick lift off right there. He had really nice, kind of behind the play, but he got up to that real quick, and looks like at least he got the stick lift to break that up.
Little Boyka back to the point. Domi, great chance with Benito. Making a play for that one. Big sauce pass. Cut off by King of Apes. And a face-off coming up here. It's actually Domi who was able to get back just on the offhand situation there.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again from Domi this season. He just seems to be able to intercept those long stretch passes there. Just near perfect defensive positioning out of him.
hREDS again. He'll lead this breakout. Dominating performance so far. And a good glove save by Kofalainen robs Benito. More D to D work, and what a shot from the point. King of Apes makes it 3-0 in favor of hREDS. Sin, what a goal.
That's an incredible goal. I thought for sure it was going to get blocked. We didn't, because of the hits that were being laid out, we didn't quite see the angle there. I saw a skater streaking towards him. I thought he might get a piece of it, but that puck just flew through. An absolute bomb from the point. Beats Kofalainen, and hREDS now getting to run away with it 3-0.
It is King of Apes' 4th goal of the season. hREDS might not be done. This one does go all the way back to their defensive zone. And HV71, a 6-11-3 record on the season so far after gaining promotion from our pro division. Team certainly worthy of being in the elite division, but you can see the gap that is there between a team that is rightfully in the elite division versus a team that is, again, our defending champions from last season. Benito nearly able to find Villapoika on that attempt. Zupe running into trouble. Nicky Dangles again. Just loves throwing it into open space, you know? In trouble here. Zupe trying to pinch up. Demski can't hold it either. Zupe finally gets control of it momentarily. Buddha King stepping in. Trying to hold on to it. Tried to go back down low instead of hitting the open man at the point. And it's Benito. A lot of space to work with. And tries that dangle, and I think you can see the confidence on full display from hREDS here. Demski. One heck of a sauce pass attempt to the far side, just out of the reach of a teammate.
Yeah, Zupe was just maybe a half step behind that. What a pass.
Battle for the puck. Demski able to get that to Madalaiska. Head of steam down the other way. Nicky Dangles on the back check. And Sin, we've seen that from him, the emergence of his stellar two-way play. He can beat you pretty much in all 3 areas of the ice, and that's going to be incredibly worrisome, going up against him, and not, of course, factoring in all the other weapons that hREDS have.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, Nicky Dangles was already dangerous, but add that defense in, he becomes all the more scary.
Benito not able to get that pass through, battled on. Banks it off the back of the goal, Zupe. Wise pass, and a good move as well from Rubitus, at least up until that pass attempt. Demski gets it back to him. Madalaiska again, a bit too much traffic. We approach the final minute of play here in the second period. Again, ECL Elite Division action, week 4 of this regular season, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kovlan Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. It is a 3-0 lead in favor of hREDS. The heavy favorites in this particular matchup, and you've seen why. Here's Nicky Dangles. What a save. Kofalainen keeping this one perhaps within reach. Just an absolutely disgusting display by Nicky Dangles. And here we go. One more chance. That pass in front. Zupe able to snuff out that opportunity. 3-0 the score as we head to the third period. As Sim will get a look, I'm sure, at Rubitus's elite edges on display, working the body.
At least, at the very least, I mean, HV71 were able to kind of lay the body as we thought. It just hasn't really, they haven't been able to translate it as much into chances going the other way. And again, it's going to be hard to get into the heads of hREDS, especially when they've got a lead like that. You know, you just kind of pick yourself up after those kind of hits, especially when it doesn't go back in that direction here. So, HV71 just looking for something, looking for some kind of edge. They're having to take what's what's given to them, and I do like what they have done. They still only have that registered shot, but there's been a couple other chances where they were just a little bit off of at least their mentality. They're not looking for anything specific. They are just kind of taking what's given to them. The problem is hREDS is not giving them a whole lot to work with, and that's kind of the story. It's a suffocating style of play from hREDS. They're great defensively. They have an incredible zone cycle and forecheck. It's not a whole lot of easy ways to get around this team and get your chances.
Third period underway here. hREDS certainly seeming to be on their way to picking up another 2 points. Well, here's Rubitas, and that shot blocked at the last moment. For the chances they have generated, some high danger opportunities for HV71. As we've talked about for some of the other top goalies in this elite division, though. Just because you finally beat the defense and get an opportunity against the goaltender, it means you have to try to beat the goaltender as well as a blocker save. Sees the puck go behind the net. Great chance here for Zupe, and a good blocker save. Case in point, what a great stop by FaZe.
Yeah, I've really liked Zupe's game here. He's really on it.
Benito sends one in front, and that's going to be a goal. Thought it might be waved off. Villapoika makes it 4-0 in favor of hREDS. Maybe a controversial moment there, but it goes from bad to worse for HV71.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that wasn't waved off. There's a player right on the goaltender, and we've seen goals called back for a lot less here. So, yeah, we're going to see a pause come out, and I kind of don't blame HV71 in this situation. That is, what is that?
That's Nicky Dangles in front.
Yeah. Just
good stretches, good limb dexterity. If that's not goalie interference, I don't think I know what is anymore. But
well, at least we're very much
in a real life hockey sense as well. Sin, we see calls that unless it was an own goal off the stick, like maybe the puck went through the blue paint and banged off the defender's stick on the other side of HV71, and as a result, there was no goalie interference. That's my best guess. And here is Nicky Dangles, another opportunity for hREDS, and he scores! The hat trick for Nicky Dangles. 5-0 now in favor of hREDS. A deflating start to this third period for HV71.
Yeah, deflating, definitely an understatement in this situation. Here as Nicky Dangles just pounces on the puck once again and takes himself right to the promised land. Oh no, and it was a good play. It was a great play. King did what he was supposed to do, cut off the angle, trying to force Nicky Dangles into a certain location for the shot. The problem was, with the bounces that just kind of happened, the puck still finds its way into the back of the net here. So HV71 perhaps, not exactly deserving the score that's on the board right now, but also haven't just been able to get enough offense to also get themselves on the board. So doesn't matter what the score on the other side is, they still have a big 0 on theirs.
Nicky Dangles drops back for King of Apes around the back. Wraparound bid doesn't go. Benito in possession. Glove save, Kofalainen. That's the one thing Kofalainen, not to say he's had a poor performance, but he's certainly done well to still kind of stay composed and not cheat and give up those short side attempts.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you got to kind of do, just sort of play through it. Here's a big one-timer coming out from Villapoika that he turns aside.
Benito, a chance for Villapoika. Likes not to shoot. 71 trying to get something going down the other way, but it is all hREDS right now. Nicky Dangles poked away. Domi looking to keep this one in. Intercepted by King, looking to lead things down the other way. Broken up by Domi. And a chop back to the point. Rubitas from Adolaiska. Zupe. Pass back a little bit off the mark. Here's Villapoika. Tried to go to Nicky Dangles. A bit too much traffic. Midway through this third period now. 2 goals for hREDS in that opening 4 minutes or so. And a rough break for Zupe. Somehow doesn't get the interceptions, and it's been that type of game for HV.
Yeah, Zupe is just staying hungry, though. He's still trying to be a difference maker out there. And if you're wondering how desperate HV71 is for offense on that last rush, it was King and Zupe leading the rush now. So it's kind of all hands on deck to try to generate a little bit of offense here for HV71.
A loose puck gathered by Zupe, but again, just nowhere to go. The incident of contact, just from the positioning of hREDS, out of control. King trying to get back to his feet. Villapoika scores! his second of the game. 6-0 hREDS. The defending champs running away with it.
Yeah, and that's, again, kind of another tough situation. Kofalainen not necessarily in bad position. It's just a location where you don't want a shooter like Villapoika in right on the doorstep there with the shot that he has. And obviously his propensity for goal scoring this season. Probably not going to miss from there too often. And it's just kind of how it goes when you start letting yourself get spread out. And if you're trying to look for that offense, it's, you know, there's going to be that little bit of extra space there. And in the slot, that's definitely not where you want to see it.
It's a dominating performance here, almost at a loss for words. And to be honest, it's, you know, we've seen some bad breaks for HV71, but at the same time, we certainly know hREDS have been the better team, are the better team. Villapoika, Nicky Dangle's broken up. King of Apes shot. Good stop by Kofalainen, who has been under siege the entire game. Again, they keep it in the attacking zone. King of Apes for Domi, the defender, down low in the corner. Shot on, rebound, kicked out. Benito still has it, back in front. Rubitas trying to find somewhere to go. Relentless pressure. Nicky Dangles can't get that one in. Here's Benito, trouble for Kofalainen. Seemingly got stuck on the outside of the post. Here's Demski, the captain, draws the call. Puck down low for Matalaiska. Tried to wire that one back to the point. Nobody home. We do still see Kofalainen in goal. Maybe not confident that it would actually allow him to go to the bench, or is just kind of waiting it out to play it safe. But regardless, there we go. hREDS again with the penalty. HV71 go back to the power play for the second time in this game. It is Domi on a slash.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, HV71, this is kind of a pride moment for them. They want to try to get a goal here. Again, it's not going to make too much of a difference in this game, but you got to find a way to generate something, give yourself a little bit of hope going into this second game.
And off the draw, it is Nicky Dangles who comes up with it, takes his time, dumps it out, almost timed it with Benito, who takes a big hit for his trouble.
And we've seen this a lot from these top teams, especially like hREDS. If they're in a blowout situation, they're not going to let their foot off the gas. They simply, it's not in their nature to do so. So you're going to see hREDS pretty much play this game like it's tied, like it's won, like they're down.
It's also not in their best interest as we have a goal. What a shot by Demski. Team's leading scorer adds another one. 13th on the year for the captain.
Good shot there off the post and in as he just kind of got that puck around the slot near the left circle, let it rip and beat FaZe on that short side. So that's exactly what HV71 kind of needed here. You know, get themselves a goal, feel a little bit good about yourself, know that FaZe can be beaten, and also just play a little bit of spoiler to his stats and probably wanting to put another a shutout on the books for him this season.
We'll have to wait for number 7 on the year. Nikkei, his total for Sawo won't be matched, at least as of today. As HV71 now in the final minute of play here in regulation. And Sin, you talked about the hREDS approach on that penalty kill. It's not necessarily worth it for some teams to let their foot off the gas because goal differential can be used as a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
If you want to make sure you secure those higher standings, it is worth it to continue to put on that pressure as they are continuing to do here. A penalty is called, and we will see the hREDS power play go to work for the first time this season, as it is Puta-King going for, I believe, what was either an interference call. Interesting. I thought it might have been a slash or a high stick off the stick lift attempt.
We're going to see hREDS power play go to work here. It's 25% on the season. Good enough for 6th place.
There's King of Apes for Domi. Nicky Dangles setting up for those 1-Ts. That shot attempt stifled. Shot by Benito. Save by Kofalainen. Nicky Dangles back for Domi. His pass to King of Apes off the mark. 10 seconds to go in the first game of 2 between these two teams in their regular season matchup. Domi scores! With emphasis. hREDS put a cap on this one. 7-1 the scoreline.
Wow. Another one that, again, Kofalainen was in position for. He just simply gets beat. What a shot right there. Plenty of traffic. And he just picks a corner that, man, Kofalainen did his best to cut off, but that was a heck of a shot there from Domi. Both defensemen for hREDS, getting a goal in this one. And 7-1. It's a rough day for HV71 so far, and hREDS looking as good as they ever have.
That is the final. A dominating performance for for hREDS against HV71. It's the double H's. It's bound to cause some mix-ups here and there. The defending champs, Sin, moved to 18-1-2 on the season. An incredible job, and led by Nikki Dangles in this one with the hat trick.
Yeah, early on, Nikki Dangles was just an absolute force, and I mean, continued to be a force throughout this game on all sides of the puck, as he really is, putting himself and positioning himself as one of the most complete players here in the ECL Elite. And I mean, he's still getting better at this point, still young, still kind of on the rise here, and that's kind of a scary proposal for the rest of this league, is that this hREDS team may not even be done getting better and improving to the point where they need to be. I think they're, this hREDS squad definitely here to stay for a very long time, and they proved it right there. These good teams, they got to beat everyone. You have to beat the teams lower in the standings than you, and hREDS definitely did that with an exclamation point in this one.
We'll get another look at one of the goals. It was actually the second goal for Nikki Dangles. I promise you 3-0 was not the scoreline. A much more dominant performance again. 7-1, the final score in favor of hREDS. You see there, just 5 shots against FaZe, so kind of tough to walk away with a shutout in that instance. As you see there, 23 shots to 5 is kind of one-sided of a total, as you will see. We make it a look here at some of the plays, of course, some of the highlights that we happen to witness there. It's, again, 4 goals in that third period for hREDS. We'll get a look at the first, and perhaps the most controversial, with no goaltender interference on the play.
Yeah, that was a situation that we both were pretty sure that was getting called back, and it wasn't. We've seen, I'd say, plays for a bit less getting called back in some kind of crucial situations as well. So at least that wasn't like it wasn't a matchup that was so close where you could look back and say, oh, I wish that didn't kind of tilt the game in a certain way. hREDS that was kind of the beginning when they started to run away with things anyway. But yeah, it's not exactly what HV71 wanted to see in that matchup, perhaps what some people expected, especially in the chat prediction. If you're HV71, though, it's got to be, I think, first and foremost, you're going to have to try to limit the hREDS offense, which is easier said than done. They're not going to give you a whole lot. I think you just got to try to focus on shutting them down and trying to frustrate them to the point where you can have a counterattack, because HV71 looked good on their counterattacks. They had ideas that were just kind of just a little bit off, and if they're able to kind of hold hREDS to just a couple goals, be able to counterattack and get 1 or 2, I could easily see them getting at least a point out of this next game.
Absolutely. And again, that next game will be coming up in just a matter of moments. We're going to step aside to get you a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to set the stage. Again, one more game coming up between hREDS and HV71.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö, ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpylän puolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Wilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Wilhelm-joukkueeseen.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
A big thank you, of course, again to Kouvolan Lakritsi and Wilhelm, as Sin's been getting a bit of a tan going on. It's that California sun.
And apparently my hair is
It's
got interactive highlights. It's the new thing here in the metaverse. I'll make
It's amazing what technology can do nowadays. But again, a 7-1 victory for our defending champions in HV71 in that opening game. Sin, they are well on their way to securing the #1 seed this time out, which is very, very good news for them. Obviously, you want the higher seed that you can get in the regular season. It certainly gets you that easier path, perhaps, to the final, as every team is looking to get. For HV71, though, this puts them into an interesting situation. As we've talked about with our standings time and time again, it's a 16-team league. 8 teams, the top 8, move on to the playoffs. Then it gets interesting, and we'll throw it to the standings. I don't know if we have the fully updated numbers yet from the first game involving hREDS and HV71, but we'll throw it to the standings. And we do actually have it updated, which is phenomenal. A tremendous job there. You see now for HV71, Sin, they find themselves in 15th. As we talked about numerous times this season, 13, 14, and 15 are in danger of going down to our pro division. Again, we have a promotion relegation system that you see, honestly, practically everywhere outside of North America, let's be honest. And looking at what we have here with that scenario for HV71, 12th is where you want to be. 9 to 12 if you're not going to make the playoffs, because you're at least safe for next year.
Mm-hmm.
But HV71's now that much closer to a situation where Djurgården might be able to make up that ground. Our 16th place team gets relegated automatically to our pro division. And HV71 and Djurgården wrap up the regular season against one another. This is tremendous news for Djurgården, and we'll see them in action a little bit later on against Frölunda. And we might see a similar result, a one-sided affair in favor of Frölunda. But this result right now, and certainly heading into this second game, if you're Djurgården, you are rooting for HV71 to be on, again, the receiving end of a blowout at this stage, because HV71 do find themselves in a very rough spot right now.
Yeah, and with how this bracket set up, as we mentioned, anywhere you are in the standings, there's tremendous implications, and that you need to perform well, whether it's to stay in the division, stay out of a relegation spot, fight for one of those playoffs, get the seeding that you want in the playoffs here. It's a lot kind of on the line here. So yeah, you said it. I mean, HV71, especially as you mentioned there, going up against Djurgården, and near the end of the season, that's going to be monumentally important, because it could mean automatic relegation or a chance to fight to stay in the elite division in a relegation series.
Absolutely. So again, game 2 coming up here now in just a matter of seconds. HV71 and hREDS, 7-1 victory for hREDS in that first game. They are wearing their road whites, HV71 in the home blue. Let's see how this one plays out this time out. And HV71 looking to, at the very least, as we've talked about all season long, if you're going to lose, at least try to lose in overtime to get that extra point in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, points at this point in the season are just an absolute premium, as we do have an offsides here. So for HV71, yeah, any point is huge, and that's why I kind of mentioned, it's if they need to be able to slow and limit hREDS down, and they have to be able to try to stop that offense. Much easier said than done, but that's their ticket, I think, to getting at least a point out of this game. You're not going to be able to go punch for punch with them.
Domi being heckled by the wingers of HV71. Nicky Dangles there to assist, and hREDS going down the other way. They have the numbers. Great poke check, though. Demski break up that attacking opportunity. It's Arubatas unable to hold on to it. Benito for Nicky Dangles. Now Domi. Back for Nicky Dangles in front. Close call. Villapoika throws one on. Kofalainen able to make the save. Again, for the most part, Cindy's done a great job of shutting down those short side opportunities. That's what we need to see from him.
Yeah, and because, I mean, as we saw hREDS going to shoot it from just about anywhere, and that's just, what they do. They're going to test that angle from every single, or test the goalie from every single angle, every single location, and they're not afraid to shoot from anywhere.
The pass across, what a goal! Nicky Dangles, I believe, with the feed, finds Villapoika on the far side, and excuse me, it was Benito on the pass, but Sin, you can't blame me with this front three of hREDS. They're all capable of pulling off these plays. Villapoika strikes first.
Absolutely, just incredible fluid movement from all three forwards right there. That's just beautiful. He has it on the back end to not only protect the puck and create that angle, but he gets the pass off as well with a little bit of extra power on that sauce, which is definitely needed here as Saucers do have a little less power than they did in NHL 21. That was perfectly placed, perfect speed on that, and a goal for Villapoika, and hREDS up 1-0.
Save there by FaZe on the backhand attempt from Matalaiska. Certainly not where HV71 wanted to find themselves, down within the first 5 minutes of the opening third of this game. Matalaiska's shot blocked down by the traffic in front. Now the outlet pass picked off by King, immediately pressured. Double team effort by hREDS. A relentless pace that they push. All out aggression, and it works out again. Benito finds the back of the net, 2-0 in favor of hREDS, and Sin Villapoica set that one up off of a great forechecking effort.
An excellent job by Benito. Had the body position. The defender right there, I'm not too sure if that was Dembski sliding down as the center to defend him, but it was a little too easy for Benito to establish himself with the body position he needed right there. Of course, you can't bump people anymore. Perhaps he was trying to get that wide, or I guess it'd be triangle tie-up in the slot right there, but of course not exactly the most efficient means right there. It's a tough situation because I don't know if he had enough time to get in front of him there. As another in-tight chance. hREDS just will not stop.
Rubitus sending that one ahead. Dembski not able to chase it down. Okay, now 2-0 deficit for HV71. A bad situation gets worse, as King has nowhere to go, and again the pressure on from hREDS. What a shot there. Goodness gracious. Benito has his second goal of the period. It's 3-0. Then right as I was going to say, this hREDS attack, as dominant as advertised. Another goal.
Yeah, and the confidence that comes out from it as well. They still had two guys down low. They were so confident that they had that breakout pass cut off, with two guys kind of separating them, one of them on the lower half, and I think it was Nicky Dangles who was still hovering around the hash marks, just waiting for the turnover, which did eventually come, and hREDS just, I mean, they're deadly to say the least.
They likely will not be done. It's a great outlet pass there for Rubitus. Tries to make his way past King of Apes. What a save! Another shot, scores! King gets HV71 on the board as Faye is hugging the post, left just that tiniest window of space open.
Just a great mentality from HV71. Just shoot the puck. That's what King did there on the rebound. It was a great initial chance that Faze turned away. He tried to get back on that short side, but as you can see there from the replay, didn't quite have it cut off. King found the tiniest bit of gap, and perhaps a breath of life here for HV71 as they stop the bleeding. Only down by 2 now. If they can get another quick one, you never know.
There's hREDS right back in on the attack. Pass in front, bouncing around. Kofalainen able to find it. 4 goals within the opening 13 minutes. How about that for a goal-scoring pace? A diving dab as well from King. Top-notch celebration as Dembski wins this draw. Outlet pass. Zupe. Second chance at it, but again, hREDS able to force the turnover. D-to-D. Shot, save, rebound, alive, and it's in! Villapoica's second of the game, and some frustrations in for HV71. They're going to call their timeout and maybe look at the replay to see if it was kicked in, I'd imagine. Maybe not. 4-1 for hREDS. Say goodbye to the momentum.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to sort of try to stop hREDS in their track here, but yeah, that's just a tough situation. The second HV71 feels like they're getting somewhere, hREDS just take it away from them immediately, and that's just a tough situation. And again, it's that forechecking pressure of hREDS. It's completely suffocating. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. They're continuing to keep 2 forwards down low, as one of them pressures from up high, and then another one will pressure from down low, with that other one kind of still being in that scoring location to not only cut off a potential pass to reset, but also, be that threat on the offense, so the defenseman has to drop back to isolate the guy, the puck carrier, trying to break the puck out of the zone here. hREDS are so good at isolating players and then being able to surround them and collapse upon them and force those turnovers here. It's just really kind of, it's like I keep using the wolf analogy, but it's a pack of wolves closing in on who they want to kind of target. In this case, it's the puck carrier, and they're able to get a free meal.
Villapoica for King of Apes. Good poke check there by Matalaiska. And 4-1 now here in the closing stages of this first period. An icing call on HV71. Good bit of contact there. HV71 We'll have a face-off down the other way. Dembski has been a formidable foe for Benito on the draws. Fortunately there, though, Benito able to win that one. The commentator's curse alive and well. Benito onside. Has options. Goes around the back. King of Apes. Over for Domi. Save. Rebounds. Not able to go anywhere with it. King of Apes still down. Just getting back to his feet. As Domi will chase this one down. Quickly right back up to Nicky Dangles. For Benito. Across. Nicky Dangles still there. King of Apes for Domi. Back again. Great block. Puck sails into the corner. Back for Domi. Villapoika stepping in. Kofalainen paddles it away. Nicky Dangles nearly the clean intercept. Pudiking able to find Zupe. He's got nowhere to go. Rubitus nowhere to go. Benito not able to hold on to it. 2 seconds to go. Madalaiska. Now Dembski. Not able to get that shot on goal by the sound of the horn. Villapoika, 2 goals in that first period. A 4-1 lead for hREDS after 1.
And you can see hREDS continuing to adjust. They kind of noticed, especially from that first game, that the stronger forechecking presence could work. As HV71, when they get into a hole like they have been in, they really have to start. They feel like they need to start spreading things out and forcing those passes across, so the forwards start going up the ice a bit earlier, which again makes it a bit tougher on Zupe and Pudiking back there to be able to make those stretch passes or even get them off. You can see by that passing percentage, 52.4%. Incredibly low, and that has a lot to do with hREDS putting the pressure on those breakouts, especially, and forcing the turnovers through that. HV71 right now kind of playing into the hands of hREDS, and that's what good teams do to you. They get on top of you early, they get the advantage, and then
I'll step in here. You are going a little bit robotic on us, unfortunately. But that is okay, because the second period's about ready to go. One of those days where, hey, sometimes technology just kind of fights with you, but still doing what we can here to bring you guys the best broadcast that we can. So let's step back in here when the opportunity presents itself. The problem is when you're talking about an hREDS offense, a goal can be just a moment away. Bit of contact there. Rubitus not able to maintain possession. That's been the issue. hREDS so good at regaining lost possessions to keep that pressure on. Dembski nowhere to go. Nobody can pick up that puck. It's Nicky Dangles for Benito. That shot blocked. Rubitus able to recover. Creative play to feed it up to Dembski. Not able to dangle his way around King of Apes. 271 throwing anything at the wall if they can just to get something past this defense. Benito scores! The hat trick for the captain, almost too easy. Back skates his way into the slot and fires one home. Incredible job there. You get one more look at it. Fantastic work. Tremendous job by hREDS, and unfortunately for HV71, just not the result that they were looking for here, and unfortunately it might go from bad to worse. We're not even halfway through this contest. 5-1 in favor of our defending champions. An offside call here as well. Fortunately, some technical difficulties on Sin's side of things. We hope to get him back in here. It's one of those things, of course, the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. With this particular broadcast, of course, you have 2 Americans who are on the opposite side of the country from one another, working with a producer in Europe, covering a European league. Sometimes, at the end of the day, the services that we use to bring you guys these broadcasts don't hold up under that scrutiny. As Rubitus to Dembski, good stop there. Probably the best bit of attacking zone time for HV71 in this game. At least so far. Pudiking couldn't hold on to that one. Madalaiska got it back to Rubitus. HV71 trying to put that pressure on. Madalaiska again. Hounded by Domi. Rubitus can't hold on to it. Villapoika now down the other way for hREDS. Gets it to Benito. King of Apes stepping in. Pass across. And a good job there by Pudaking to get back and disrupt. Still hREDS though in possession. Nicky Dangles nearly toe-dragging his way to a scoring possession. Throws it on! And Villapoika bangs home the rebound. His hat-trick goal. It is 6-1 now in favor of hREDS. Incredible. Wow. Sin, I think you're back with us. Just incredible what they can do.
It is. I've been watching along here as it's... Yeah. This is... if there was any doubt... at all this season, this is a clear championship contender here. There's just no quit at any point, and they're able to execute these plays at high speed in tight locations through defense, and they're right back in on the attack here.
It's their willingness to just throw different looks onto a goaltender and rock that confidence, and certainly they have to be the favorites to win this championship this season until someone proves us wrong. There are teams who might be able to prove us wrong, but until they do, hREDS, Kings of the Mountain, here in the Elite Division. Azupe able to find Matalaiska. Chance now for Demski, stepping away. Can't get a clean shot on goal. Throws one on. Matalaiska tried to sweep that one home as well. That's really the story here. Of course, someone might see the scoreline and be like, oh, this is a mismatch. And HV71, absolutely one of the top 16 teams in Europe. This is not a pushover squad by any any stretch of the imagination, Sin. It's just, again, the difference level between a good team and arguably the best team in the world. It's quite the gulf, as we're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely is. And again, there's no easy teams at all in this Elite Division. There's no bad teams in this Elite Division, because if, you're at the bottom of the division, as we said, you can get relegated. You have to fight your way back up. Every single team here, theoretically, is a tough matchup. It's just hREDS just have that other level to them right now. Nice little play by Rubitus, dodging the forecheck as well and getting that puck out, trying to create some offense.
Hayes lets that one go past. Matalaiska takes the hit. 2 minutes to go here in the second. Long way to go. This one can't end fast enough for HV71. Sim, we talked about the goal differential as well and the current standing situation for HV71. They need to, try to stop the bleeding here as much as they can, because it would not be the first time we've seen goal differential come into play in a tie-breaking scenario in the standings in our time here covering the ECL.
I don't think we've necessarily seen it come near the top of the bracket, but you never know with the way this is going. As we mentioned, the top of the bracket is pretty crowded this season. So, yeah, hREDS just doing everything that they can to keep that goal differential up.
Not mistaken. That shot, Nicky Dangles, hits the side of the cage. That brings us to the end of the second period. And the point I was going to make, if I'm not mistaken, we did see a team, I won't name them, just to not rub salt in the wounds, but we did see a team not all that long ago miss out on the playoffs, and I do believe finished in 9th. Rather than 8th because of goal differential. So there's a reason why we bring it up and hammer home the point. Similar to as to why hREDS hammering home the point here. 6-1, foot, firmly on the gas pedal, moving forward, up by 5, heading into the third.
That would be a crushing enough defeat if this was the end of the third. But yeah, they still have another period to play. And again, good teams like hREDS, they do not let their foot off the gas. Especially, in this Elite Division, if you give any team here a breath of life, if you kind of, disrespect them by not playing your best against them, they will make you pay. If you give teams here that kind of, little bit of crack in the door to come back here, they will capitalize on it. And just, out of nowhere, where they can get 1, they can get 2, they start with 3. We've seen goals scored in quick succession, obviously in this one, but in other ones as well. We've seen some crazy comebacks, 3-goal comebacks, 4-goal comebacks, and, some overtime, some late goals in the dying seconds. Anything can happen. So yeah, if you're hREDS, you're not giving up any advantage. This is obviously a solid team here in HV71. You're not going to give them any room to get back into this one.
Matalaiska trying to keep that attack going. Rubitus couldn't hold on to it. Demski throws one on. Wide on that blocker side. Phase rarely tested throughout the first 5 periods of play that we've seen between these two teams so far tonight. Again, coming up next, Djurgården Hockey taking on Frölunda HC. Again, Frölunda on the warpath this season. Lost to hREDS in the final of ECL Season 12 and looking to get back to the top of the mountain themselves as Domi messing around, loses the puck. But when you have a safety net like King of Apes back there with you, why not show off a little bit of the creativity?
Keep your head up, kid.
Madalaiska gets crushed by the hip check. Somewhere Rob Blake feels warm and fuzzy inside, and he doesn't know why. Buda King from Madalaiska, another hit. Here is Rubitus, and there was Rubitus. Poked out. Great poke check here by Villapoika to keep that pressure on. Nicky Dangles down low for Villapoika. Half expecting someone to try a Michigan in this game if they get the space. HV71 trying to get something going. Still 12 and a half minutes to play in this one. Great pass. Finds its way to Demski. Demski in front. Poked around. And unfortunately, Rubitus almost had a play on that puck. Close call.
Yeah.
For HV71, arguably their best scoring chance that we've seen since their goal.
And that was an incredible sequence. The cross-eye sauce all the way to Demski, who then L-skated and was able to put that puck towards the middle. Yeah, you said it. The puck was just kind of skidding around in the slot, and Rubitus just couldn't get a stick on it on that short side. That would have been a tremendous scoring chance for HV71.
hREDS keeping that pressure on. Zupe has to send it around. It will be kept in by Domi. Shot on, save by Kofalainen. Buda King. To find Madalaiska. Can he get around Domi? He just tries to send it to the other side. Doesn't even attempt to. Benito. Spin. Drops it off to himself. Pass in front broken up. Outrageous. Villapoika's shot. Saved by Kofalainen. There by Rubitus to knock it free. Of course, returning to the Elite Division. We had previously seen him with Färjestad. Got a big hit there by Domi. Rubitus's chance. Good save by FaZe. Still have a man down on the far side. Madalaiska taking a while to get back to his feet. There's hREDS again trying to gain the attacking zone. They do so with relative ease. King of Apes. Defense there, though, by Zupe. HV71 again, a goal here. Could mean a lot for their season. Demski still has it. Zupe to the point. They score! What a great look there by Zupe. Able to hit Rubitus. Quick one-timer to Buda King. And HV71 get a goal back.
I mean, just a nice bit of play right there. Again, quick passes, keeping it simple are HV71, and that's what you're going to have to do when you're not getting all your chances. You got to take what's given to you and make the simple plays, and I like that, using the points right there. Buda King, that's a couple goals for him in this series, so you can see it, the potential there from HV71 if they could get that puck into the zone. It's just hREDS is not really allowing them a whole heck of a lot, but you can see why hREDS won't take their foot off the gas. I mean, HV71, a very, very competent and capable team.
Give them a chance in the offensive zone. They'll make you pay for it. Villapoika able to shovel that one on. Gets it back down low. Benito, good save. Kofalainen back to Villapoika, and another big save by the HV71 netminder. Battle, big hit in the corner there, and King of Apes just can't keep that one in the zone. 2 minutes to play as Nicky Dangles with the interception. hREDS will move to 19-1-2 on the season through their 22 games. First place in the Elite Division still at this stage. Benito shot blocked down. Villapoika fighting for it. Benito, now King of Apes. Domi shot up. Too much traffic in front. Nicky Dangle shot, rebound, scores! Right place, right time. His fourth of the game. It is Villapoika. Sin, you mentioned it. He entered play today as the league's leading scorer. We're getting a little bit of a look as to why.
Yeah, kind of the recipient right there, and you could see, I think that was 60. No. Oh, now, yeah, that would have been Buda King. I think he thought he might have got that puck pickup as you saw him begin to jet up the ice right there. And unfortunately, it just went directly to Villapoika. The bounce was so quick because we're seeing a clear over the glass here. I'm not too sure why, but they're getting a...
I didn't see what happened there either, to be fair. So
they wanted a stoppage for some reason, though.
We are back underway, 35 seconds to play. in this contest. Dominating performance for hREDS as advertised. Kofalainen will secure a little bit of a higher save percentage by not risking to, not risking the pass to keep that clock going. Here we go, final 30 seconds of regulation. 11 saves for Kofalainen in this one. Tall task for any netminder to withstand the hREDS attack. And they're not done yet, perhaps. Rubitus, though, able to take this one away, draws the trip. With 11 seconds to go, HV71 to the power play.
Yeah, it's time for pettiness from HV71. You just got to try to get a quick goal here to at least, be able to score on hREDS one more time, mess up a phase, play spoiler a bit to phase, a stats play spoiler to that goal differential here, and more importantly, just kind of prove to yourself that you can do it, but unfortunately losing that face off there, and King of Apes in on the attack will go offside, so 7.2 seconds left with a little bit of extracurricular here going on. These two teams giving it to each other.
Will we see it? Drop them! We've seen a line brawl in the past. I was hoping we'd get another one. It will be Domi to the box for roughing. And a 5-on-3 here. I'm honestly surprised Kofalainen didn't go to the bench. Off the draw, 4 seconds here. Demski has it in front. Shot! What a stop by FaZe! To put a cap on this one, a save of the year contender.
Wow.
Just more heartbreak for HV71. I hope we see that save again. FaZe saying, hey, don't forget about me. It's been quiet back here, but don't forget about me. What a performance. Villapoika, 4 goals. We got to look at another one of them here.
Oh, I'm just going back to that save by FaZe. That was absolutely unreal. I thought for sure that was a goal. I was like, wow, it worked. It was kind of almost like it looked like bait from HV71 to start kind of the pushing and shoving, and hREDS got suckered into taking that extra penalty. They got the face-off back in the offensive zone, and I think we're going to... No, never mind. It looked like they were setting up for it right there, but that was the goal from the point from Pooty King, but that was an incredible save from FaZe there. Somehow got back and got the toe and the pad on it to keep that one out and just preserve his stats a little bit and frustrate HG71 that much more.
6-1, the final scoreline. Very much so. hREDS adding to their impressive goal differential this season.
Yeah, 7-2, because
7-2, yeah, there we go. It's one of those things, Sin, where I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right, but the graphics say it, and the graphics are wrong 90% of the time.
Not our graphics, though. We're great.
Yeah, no, we're great. Our graphics are on point. 7-2, the final score. Not to give HV... You got to give HV71 the credit they deserve there. I mean, Sin, obviously,
they were
some
better.
Positives, the face-off percentages, numbers such as that, but just, again, the gap between the likes of our defending champions and a team in their first season in Elites, it's rather pronounced.
It's a steep learning curve, and that's kind of what we always say. When you get into this division, especially HV71, your first goal is to stay in this division. And that's kind of what HV71 has found them. That's the position they found themselves in. That's what they're going to be fighting for. They at least want to give themselves a fighting chance. If they get automatically relegated, that's, that's a really kind of a harsh blow to them, because they worked so hard to make it in here to kind of be sent back immediately. Would be unfortunate, but yeah, if they, again, that matchup at the end of the season against Djurgården is looking all the more likely to be the huge decider to which of those teams gets the automatic relegation. So we'll see what hREDS can do in their last matchups here in the latter part of the season.
2 games in the books, 2 dominant performances for hREDS, and we might just see the same as after a brief intermission, we will see Frölunda taking on the previously aforementioned Djurgården. Again, HV71, their action for the day might be done, but certainly eyes should be on this quick little matchup here with Djurgården as well. As Sin mentioned, it might very well come down to the wire for those 2 teams. So again, brief intermission on deck. We will be back. Don't go anywhere. More Elite Division action coming up after this little break.